What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the video. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Now, I am super excited to finally be behind the wheel of the all-new 2026 Honda Prelude. And yes, this is the follow-up to the previous Prelude that was discontinued in the early 2000s. This new one only comes in one trim level, so what you see is what you get. And I'm very glad to have been able to get my hands on this Prelude because they are very limited. At least for this first model year, they're only producing about 4,000 units. What's going to happen next year? That's yet to be determined. But for now, they're only making 4,000. And on the surface, this new Prelude, it seems pretty simple. Civic platform, Civic hybrid powertrain, Type R components in the suspension and the steering, but it actually goes quite a bit deeper than just that. This new Prelude is Honda's attempt to create a luxury grand touring experience. And I do have to say, they certainly are pricing it as such. But many people feel that this vehicle does not warrant the steep price tag that it has. But in this video, we're gonna discuss everything about the driving experience. So first thing, let's talk about the ride quality. This does share the same front and rear suspension components as the Civic Type R, but they are tuned a bit differently for the Prelude. So we have a dual axis strut suspension up in the front, and we have multi-link in the rear. And just like the Civic Type R, we have adaptive dampers that do change between the different drive modes. And the thing that's surprising is that even though it shares the hardware of the Civic Type R, it really doesn't feel like it. They've retuned everything to prioritize comfort over sportiness. One would expect this to have a stiffer and harsher ride because of that shared architecture with the Type R, but it actually rides incredibly soft. Right now I have it in comfort mode. 4 different drive modes. We have Comfort, GT, Sport, and the individual mode. And in city driving, I've been keeping it in Comfort, and wow. This really is not what I expected. This rides smoother than any Civic I've ever driven. It even rivals the comfort and ride quality of the Accord. Now with the drive modes, when you throw it into Sport, then it changes a bit. You also have the steering from the Type R, so that stiffens up quite a bit. We'll talk more about the steering later. But the dampers do stiffen up quite a bit to give it a little bit more of a Type R-like feel when you have it in Sport. Now, like I said before, this does only come in one trim level, but there is one major option that you can add on to this, and that is the summer tire package. So this one I am driving is equipped with the summer tire package. These are Continental Extreme Contact Sport summer tires. It's 235 on the width with a 40 series sidewall, so not exactly a low profile tire. This is riding on 19-inch wheels, so even with a 40 series sidewall, there's still an okay amount of cushion. And these summer tires, they are extremely grippy and do enhance the handling quite a bit. Again, that'll be more towards the end of the video. So you have the super smooth ride in Comfort with the lighter weight to the steering. You have the stiffer ride with the tighter steering in Sport mode. And then GT is kind of right in the middle of both of them, where you get a little bit of the enhanced throttle input for the powertrain, a little bit tighter steering, but you still get the nice comfort from the suspension. And then in individual mode, you can kind of fine-tune all those different things exactly to your liking. Now, the biggest difference between this Prelude and every other Prelude that came before it is that this now has a hybrid powertrain. So this shares the same powertrain as the current Civic hybrid. It's a dual electric motor system paired with the 4-cylinder engine. So in a nutshell, you have 2 electric motors. One is a traction motor and one is a battery. And in lower speed scenarios like this, the engine doesn't actually work like a typical engine. What it does is it acts as a generator to charge the battery, and then the traction motor is connected directly to the wheels. So this is like a direct drive type transmission. The battery sends the power to the traction motor, which then directly powers the front wheels. And the engine gets used as a generator, but also it produces the sound for the simulated shifting for the transmission. So this does have the same power figures as the Civic Hybrid. So combined, this puts out 200 horsepower and 232 pound-feet of torque, and this is paired with a direct drive eCVT. But this eCVT does an incredible job at actually simulating an 8-speed dual clutch transmission. Now, since this is a hybrid vehicle, you're probably curious about the fuel economy. And the fuel economy is quite good. It's 46 city, 41 highway, and 44 combined. And then we also have the S Plus button you can see down here. Now this is a really interesting new thing. So putting the car in S Plus shift, it does work with all the different drive modes, but that allows you to use a very convincing simulated manual mode using the aluminum paddle shifters mounted here on the back of the wheel. And you can see when I put it in S Plus shift, you can see the way it changes the tachometer, so I'll change it back. So we have more of like a power gauge there on the left instead of a tachometer. You put it in S Plus, then it's back to a real tachometer. In the past year, I've driven both the Accord Touring and the Civic Hybrid Touring, which are both hybrid systems that use a gear simulating transmission that I thought were both already pretty good. But this one, especially with this S shift mode, really takes it to another level, and it does help provide a very authentic feeling grand touring type experience, albeit this does have limitations, only having 200 horsepower, but this is a great way to have, I guess, what I would call mild fun. This isn't an exhilarating vehicle to drive, but you can definitely have some fun with it. So I have it in S Plus. We're gonna do an acceleration test now. This is rated to do 0 to 60 in right around 6.5 seconds. So for that, of course, as always, we're gonna put it in sport mode. And now when I put my foot down, you can hear the difference in the sound. So up here, we're gonna come to a complete stop, and then I am gonna use the paddle shifters. I normally don't, but since Honda's really emphasizing this feature, we're gonna do it. So I'm gonna come to a stop. I think there's a car behind me, so I gotta be quick. All right, let's go. So this S Plus shift mode is really fun to use. And one of the big advantages of this hybrid system is that you get instant torque delivery right at 0 RPM. So having that direct drive with the electric power from the traction motor going straight to the wheels, it's instantaneous. And I think Honda's done an amazing job at just making the sound just sound really real. But the experience with using the paddles isn't just about the sound. You also get rev matching and you get shift shock as well. In addition to just making the sounds of the shifting, it actually modifies the power delivery in real time. And for me, the most obvious example of that is downshifting when you're slowing down. So like I was coming off the highway, going down the deceleration ramp, had it in sport mode S Plus shift just like this, and I was downshifting while slowing down on the ramp, and you could feel that kind of natural lunge you get whenever you downshift. You can feel, the difference in torque when you downshift and the RPMs jump back up. If you didn't tell me that this wasn't an automatic, I would 100% think it was. So like how I was saying, how it changes the level of power delivery in real time, when you're downshifting, the generator actually momentarily reduces the amount of power it's putting out to not only just prioritize the sound, but to also maximize the regenerative braking. So I think now maybe you kind of understand why saying this is just a Civic hybrid powertrain would be quite an understatement. This transmission has several different dimensions to it, and overall, it is quite impressive, especially when you remember the fact that this does get 44 miles per gallon. And even though this car does cost quite a bit, there is a lot of technology and engineering that went into this. And I don't think that one could really appreciate it without getting behind the wheel themselves. All right, so now's the real fun part, taking it out on the highway. But since we're in more stop and go traffic right now, I think this would be a good opportunity to test out the Honda sensing and the adaptive cruise control. So all those buttons are located right here on the right side of the wheel. Alright, if you're gonna pass, pass. Why does everyone drive like such a dipshit? So, we have the lane keep assist button, which is right there. So now lane keep assist is turned on. Then we have this button here. You see the little icon pop up there. Then we hit set. And now your speed is set. So it's at 48 miles an hour. Traffic is picking up a little bit, so I'm gonna up that. So you can see your set speed is in the smaller numbers right below your actual speed. Now, just like Toyota's cruise control system, this one's a little bit aggressive with the warnings to keep your hand on the wheel. So let's see. For now, I'm gonna keep it off and see how long it takes the car to start yelling at me. So you see steering required. It's saying it there on the screen. I'm not doing it. And then it yells at you. But it's not meant to be a fully autonomous system, so most of these systems do that. But in my experience using this system, it does pretty good with accelerating and braking. It does good at sudden braking when someone suddenly cuts you off. Now, in terms of the lane drifting, especially at somewhat higher speeds like this, it can be hit or miss. We're going 53, we have a turn coming up here. Okay, we're slowing down. But let's see how we do with this turn, because sometimes these sharper turns, okay, so doing pretty good, but there's a fork in the road coming up here, so I'm going to intervene so it doesn't get confused. So for stuff like that, you got to be careful. If you're in a lane and it splits off into two, that can confuse the system. So instances like that are kind of the reason why you need to be constantly paying attention. You can see on the display there, it does show traffic in real time. So yeah, that's the cruise control system in a nutshell. I think it's a pretty good one. This 2026 Honda Prelude comes standard, one trim, with an 8-speaker Bose audio system. So let's take a listen. So it's pretty good. The bass is nice and controlled. It doesn't get overly distorted. It has pretty decent volume to it. Maybe it could go a little louder, but considering it can go as loud as it can without the distortion, I'm pretty happy with that. Clarity in the mid-range is pretty good, but the high-end frequencies do sound a little bit hollow and tinny sometimes, especially at the higher volumes. But other than that, pretty good. Pretty good. So now we are at the back roads to test out the steering and the handling of the all-new Honda Prelude. And for a Grand Touring coupe, this is the place to take it, okay? This is meant for the winding back roads. So I have it in GT mode, which is supposed to be like the perfect mix of performance and comfort. You still get a little bit of that, heightened throttle input, a little bit of the engine noise too, but you still get the super soft suspension and the nice tight weighted steering. Now over here, as we get onto these turns, even though this is a front wheel drive car, everything's real nice and planted. Those summer tires do help out quite a lot. but this also has something called Agile Handling Assist. Basically, it's a system for instances just like this right here that help minimize understeer. So like, for example, to really demonstrate how it is, I'll let this car go. You see, as I'm getting into this tight turn here, as I let go of the wheel, the car doesn't jerk straight back towards straight. It actively works to keep that tight turn going. Also, I have to say, even for a coupe, there isn't like a bad blind spot. The visibility is actually pretty good. And then, of course, on the topic of braking, we have these giant 13.8-inch rotors up front with 4-piston Brembo calipers. Let's do a hard sudden brake. You know, the brakes on this car are a bit overkill because they're Type R brakes, but we don't have Type R power. So the brakes are beyond sufficient. To be honest, they're not really needed in this car, but they're here. And then as for the speed of the steering, I'm going to put it back in sport now to really tighten it up. Really, really fast feedback from the steering, which is exactly what you would expect, knowing that this is the steering tuning from the Type R. So overall, the hybrid technology, the transmission technology, and even technology helping with handling. I think a lot of people, and also a lot of car reviewers, are overlooking just how much tech is in this package when automatically dismissing this as being too expensive. This 2026 Honda Prelude with the summer tires, with the Boost Blue paint, is $44,850. So we're coming in just under $45,000. But you are getting all the Type R components, but you're also getting all of the technology that works together to make this an incredibly smooth ride, very efficient ride, but also engaging with very good handling for a front-wheel drive vehicle. Now, when buying a car, everyone has their things that are most important to them, the things that, you know, are a must, that might be a deal breaker. And for me, it's actually the lack of a sunroof. That would do it for me, aside from the fact that it's probably out of my price range. So there certainly is a lot to consider here. Honda did make this to be somewhat of a niche product, knowing that customer base for this vehicle would be on the smaller side. So there's definitely many reasons why this would be appealing to some, but not to others. But ultimately, that's your decision to make. So a huge thank you to Honda for sending out the Prelude so I could keep it for an entire week, give you guys the most thorough review possible. There really is a lot to like about this, and I have thoroughly enjoyed my week with it. So please let me know your thoughts on the new Prelude down in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please share with a friend and subscribe. It'll really help the channel grow. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss any new videos, and be sure to follow @Optical Automotive on TikTok and Instagram, and check out the page on Facebook. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys later.